Well, welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, it's the end of November tour. I was going to do a vegetable harvest, but it's very cold and very frosty here in the UK today. Just a couple of things before we have a little look round. Jacko's Allotment, he's been a great supporter of my channel, and he's gone through a lot like we all have this year. But if you'd like to pop across to Jacko's Allotment and have a look at his channel, and maybe you may consider subscribing and say a hello from me. And a big thank you to the 3 people that have sent me something through PayPal. Much appreciated. The 3 of you do know who you are, regular viewers, so thank you. I finished work in 2022, so I know what I want to buy, but I'm not going to tell you. I think I'm going to let you guess. It's something that you have all got that I have never had. Let you think about that. But yeah, I'm going to put that towards that item, and you'll get to find out in the jobs for December, which will be coming up on the following video, I think. See how things go. Anyway, let's have a little look and see what we've been doing in November. And as you can see here, we hadn't started collecting the leaves at the jobs for November. That is bag 19. There's enough left now for one more bag, which will take me to 20 again, and they're very, very wet, so it's hard to say whether I've got more than last year or less. It doesn't matter. They'll all compost down and make some lovely leaf moulds at the end of the day. And this bag is very crispy and very cold. Why did I put my hands in it? Anyway, let's get cracking and let's talk it. So there we have it, the bags for this year so far, and there's my compost finds. We've got another 700 there. We'll show you that shortly. It takes me to 17,600 litres of compost found over the last 6 years. And that's the compost that the cannabis growers unscrupulously dump. I've moved my trommel from there to here because I want to be able to use these bags first, because these paths haven't yet been cut back and mulched, like this one that's running on the opposite side. And this wet, cold weather, it's treading down really well, and it keeps your feet reasonably dry and clean. I've already done my comfrey plant food. That video went on to Liz Zorab by the farm, and you may want to pop across to her channel to see my video that we did in collaboration. The comfrey's looking very, very sad, and I think I would having a good frost on it. We'll let that die back naturally. So we've got all the paths down here done, and I've cleared all this area there, pallets and everything, and this is now waiting for the Blockin 14 comfrey to establish itself, and then we'll plant it in there. I'll add some extra ingredients at the time, but for now it can sit there. All these barrels now have been joined together. That was an extra job, but I was in the mood, so I've done it. I haven't been able to seal the guttering up because it's been far too wet, so there is an odd leak, but it's catching most of the water, so the water drops into that one, it siphons from there to there, and then from there to here, so I can get easy access from this side and that side for any water that I may require. Never did get chance to do the perennial weeds, but it won't hurt for another month to see how they're doing. And we've even got a worm in here, so hopefully we'll see whether drowning the perennial weeds works, and then we can use that on the beds. The leaves have sunk down nicely, so I'll be able to get another 2 bags in here, and then we can start very slowly in getting them all off this middle path. They can stay down that side, there's a little bit extra room to walk. I've managed to get another barrel, got that cut. That's all done, ready for where we need it. And I've got some sad news on plot 3. Something's happened, and the pups are still forming on here. You can see them all the way around. I harvested that. It's going a bit rotten, but I shall leave it until I need it, and we'll cut as much away as we need. All the sunflowers have been cut down. They quickly went over at the beginning of November, and I do need to stack them now. But the main priority was to get these barrels in and start collecting water, and it looks like I'm going to have to heap the soil up here. As you can see, I've just put it anywhere for now, and hopefully I may buy a few more wildflower seeds to go here to make it look a little bit brighter for next year. Well, my rhubarb's under here somewhere, but this is all the pallets. We found a few more pallets. We've got some wood out of a skip, a builder's skip, other bits of bobs. We managed to get 12 pallet collars this month. Why not go and check my November 2020 playlist to see if there's any videos you've missed. And we've also got this recycle bin, compost bin. It said please take me, so I did. So this is where my autumn fruiting raspberries were. I've now heaped all the soil up. It's got cardboard on so we don't lose all the nutrients from the liquid manure. And these are the bags from the last 700 litres we found. These are from Father's allotment. I'm growing all my cabbages here this year, not going up there. It's just a little bit too far to go. We've got some guttering that'll be used on the Polytunnel build with a few fittings, and then we've got another 700 litres of compost that we found. Well, it's the other half of the other half, basically. It was still there when I popped back at the weekend. So on this we did a bit of a slip trench, and we put some old compost. Bill and Val's allotment suggested I use some of those leaf mould rejects, so there's some of those in there, some of the spent compost as well, and a good dose of liquid manure. I think it was 10, 20, 30, possibly 40 litres of manure concentrate, and we've covered it up so that it doesn't get washed away. So I'll get this all sorted, but again it's only a few roots in. I'm not delving my hands in today, it's too cold and it's probably frosted anyway. But I am thinking now of actually using one of my manure runoff beds to store this compost while it's still coming thick and fast. Well, the leaves are still holding well on the bushes in the fruit cage, so we'll leave it a bit longer, maybe January, late December, and get these pruned back. I'm going to go vertical, not the goblet shape, to give me a bit more room to get up the middle. I've bought the covers for the square foot gardening for the coal frames, and in that far corner we've got the variegated onion that I'm putting to seed, to see whether we get variegated onions from that original one. During November we managed to get all the asparagus planted, and it was desperate to get out. Again, that will be in the playlist. I've used some green manure here. This is the mustard. There it is, just sprinkled on the top and scattered about. The broad beans didn't like this frost. It's probably -1, -2. We don't get many frost any lower than -5 here in the UK. There are exceptions. And I've also put some of the mustard seeds in amongst the field beans, which are also a green manure. So let's see how the runner beans do. I've taken out the Pomgo beans that I got from Billa Val originally. They still weren't drying out, so they're inside now. We've managed to get this top layer on the scaffold plank lined with plastic so that the wood doesn't drag the moisture out, and we've managed to fill most of it up. Once these start growing I can add more to it, but I don't want to bury them and spoil that lovely veg that we've got there. And we've topped this one up a little bit. I've got the pups forming on this one. We've certainly been enjoying the pups off that one, and the sprouts are still quite nice. And I've been taking the ones from the bottom because they're the smallest, and as soon as they've all fully formed I'll show you how to store them on the allotment. It's quite a nice red cabbage. A lot of green fly on the kale, but not so much white fly. There's some of the winter cabbages, and these are the same ones, so look what a difference it makes by giving them a bit more room and space, etc. And the only issues we've got are where the leaves are touching the ground, something's nibbling them. I don't think it's slugs. And we've got some of the Kelsey onions there. They started sprouting via the roots, so I've got them planted now. And I'm trying to keep all my onions that are going to seed scattered all over the allotment so they don't cross-pollinate. Still haven't planted Marie Curie's crimson broad beans. I must get that done. And no more pigeon issues on the sprouting broccoli and the kale that we've got here. And we've not been finding too many slugs under the plastic that we've been putting. And through this month we've been mulching. The parsnips have done. There's the parsnips that we sowed in the autumn. I've put that on there to protect them, and there's 2 beds of carrots put to bed. Celery is looking really sick, and it won't be long before we mulch this bed, but the carrots they look quite healthy at the moment. And there's quite a few good ones as well. I know Mrs. K wants some, but I ain't gonna get my hands cold. I'd rather be told off. All this is coming out. There's absolutely loads, thousands of little baby slugs. Of course I put one in the fridge, didn't I? Yes, hundreds of baby slugs all over the veg. I got that look off the good wife. So this massive pile of soil is now down a bit because we've topped those beds up. Under there is some of the better stuff. This is the stuff that was probably originally at the bottom of the beds. Now I do believe I did find one of the original bed. I think it was somewhere there, the actual wood that was holding the original beds together. And if you're interested, why not go and pop and see my first video and you see how my garden was laid out 5 years ago. So there's enough room now to set up another pallet collar. And yes, a little bit cool. And we've got the banana shallots there, the long red Florence. So I've kept them separate. As you can see, they started sprouting while they were on the side. And so there's the others, and over here well away from them are the banana shallot zabroon. So hopefully I'll be able to pollinate those myself. And I've just noticed that the elephant garlic has now started to come through. I was started to panic a little bit, but they were planted quite deep actually, and you can see there where the sun has been up and down and gone, but it's stopped quite cold, and these shallots have also started to sprout. Now the Jerusalem artichokes have all had their tops cut off because they'd already started to die off, so they're sat in the buckets. They won't hurt. They shouldn't start sprouting until about January, February. That's why we need to get them in the ground straight away, and they should be in this, which will be, so we'll have another pallet collar here, then the next pallet collar, which will be exactly opposite this one, will be where the Jerusalem artichokes will be, and that should give me nice access up the ladder. I've got the rope now ready, so I've got a rope to hold on to, so there's no chance of me falling down and hurting myself too much. I must say the brood balls, the Orprea, are doing quite well, and the walking onions are happy as Larry. No, I won't even pull that up. It's frosted. So because I've got the extra 12 pallet collar beds, I've used some of the ones that aren't as perfect to make those plastic coal frames, and that's in a previous video. So I shall use one off the celery for the bottom, and then get 3 more from the stockpile, get those done, and then the old ones, the original ones I first had 6 years ago, are there to go round that bin for the Jerusalem artichokes next year. I've removed all the wood from the sides there. These are the bolts that I had got to hold the wood on. I've put them back in now. They can sit there, need a bit of oil on them. The issues with this polytunnel, you can see that there, that the bolt head sticks up and it does rub the plastic. So I've bought some coach bolts. Now the plastic with some of the hot tape should help the plastic not to cut through. So basically somebody suggested go to one of our stores to get the pick and mix. So I got enough of these coach bolts to do all this, and that bag was £2.50, so you had to fill it. Now we hadn't got no nuts or washers. I'm using the nuts from the other original bolts, and I just fired in as many little washers as I could squeeze in to get me money's worth. But £2.50 for, I think it was 21 bolts, that size, so wasn't too bad. And hopefully I've been promised another 10 old curbs that are coming out of one of the jobs, so I'll have enough then to make a start on this late December, beginning of January. So the disappointment, this is one of my galvanised tanks. Yeah, they do rust, and oh dear me, look, the water level's dropping down, and that's with the rain that we've had. I've had a quick look round, can't find it, so it must be in the bottom. So I'll either have to line it with plastic, a pond liner, or just do away with it completely. But this IBC sits on top of it, and then from the wall there's some timber to hold that one up. So I do need them that high, so I've just got to decide what I'm doing here. But of course 2,000 litres of water, they're not going to be wasted, so that's probably about 1,500 litres, so I'm afraid I might just have to suck it and see. But I'm going to have to redirect that into some blue barrels and collect the water that way. And that's embarrassing, not cleaning up. Oh, oh, that's cold. Yeah. First good frost of the winter. The onions that I grew last year, the Peter Glazebrook, the giants, the world record holder for the giantest onion, they're still in the pots, and I've just started watering them now, so hopefully they will start sprouting, and I can keep these under cover just in case anything happens. So thanks for watching, guys, commenting and everything else. Hit the like button, consider subscribing. That's made me a little bit cool now, but I'll soon get warmed up by doing a few more little jobs before the light fails completely on me. And just have a little guess as to what you've got that I've never ever had. It's some technology. I have got a brain, not many cells, but something that you've got that I've never had personally. I've never owned one personally. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.